The game industry is a very different place because of Gabe Newell, and I think it's a much better place. So please join me in congratulating Gabe Newell on the 2010 Pioneer Award.
So as anyone who knows Valve is aware of, this really is an award for everyone at the company. So it's for Doug and Scott, EJ, Jan, and all the other people who are there, because that's how we work. We're really a collaboration, and that's how we've achieved what we've done. So I actually have some slides. I figured since I'm getting an award for pioneering that we should try to actually do some pioneering here today. These are things that we wouldn't ordinarily be talking about, but I think it's worthwhile to reference some of the things that are affecting our decisions and our game designs. There we go. The first thing is there wasn't some magic pioneer fairy who hit us on the head and allowed us to do pioneering work. It's really a consequence of a bunch of other decisions you make along the way. How your games are being funded, how you select your colleagues, how you organize your teams are really the things that are going to allow you to do pioneering work. In our case, we've designed the company in such a way that we really not only give everyone who works there the opportunity, but they all have the expectation that they're going to be doing original and creative work. So in terms of looking ahead, if digital distribution was important and some of the thinking that went into our games like Half-Life and Portal were important in the past, what's important in the future? So biometrics, we think, is really important. We've seen a lot of work since the Wii shipped to explore how motion, and with this next generation of controllers, how vision systems are going to affect our games. But given that we all are creating these proxies inside of our games that measure player state, we think that actually being able to measure it, even using simple things like pupillary dilation or skin galvanic response, heart rate, gaze tracking, those are the techniques that are going to give our games enormous impact in the future. We also think that the transition to massively multi-core gaming is going to be incredibly important. A lot of times when people are talking about Larrabee, the frame around it is this is another graphics card. And it really is much more than that. It represents a sea change in how computing is going to be done. It's a sign that the architectures that we've used for the last couple of decades have run out of gas. But rather than that being an end, it's a beginning, and it's a tremendous opportunity for software developers, because a class of problems that have traditionally only been solvable in hardware are now moving into the software domain, which gives us a lot of flexibility about how we move into the future. One thing that you hear us talk a lot about is entertainment as a service. It's an attitude that says, what have I done for my customers today? And it informs all the decisions we make, and really once you get that mindset going, it helps you avoid things like some of the digital rights management problems that really turn entertainment more, that actually make your entertainment products worth less by wrapping those negatives around them. Something else that we think is really important, back in the 90s and early aughts, it seems like the average gamer knew more about what the internet was going to do to games than your average video game executive. They had a better understanding of how it's going to impact support and distribution, how you were going to communicate directly with your customers. And our customers seem to be signaling this again. And the signal is that these entertainment experiences that we're getting them are no longer, we can't really get away with leaving them in these silos of, because of accidents of production technology, I know how to make games, or I know how to make movies, or I know how to make comics. They really are saying, come on guys, there's this opportunity to create this richer and broader entertainment experience. And that's not just, that's true not just of us, but of, other game companies in our industry, and we'd say of other entertainment industries as well. I get a lot of questions from other people who run companies about organizations. I think that the important thing that you do is about measurability and repeatability, then hierarchical organizations are appropriate. But that's not what is happening in our industry. The rate of innovation is not remaining constant. It's not like we're plateauing. In just about every dimension, innovation's increasing. And the most effective organizations are those that can self-organize and that are extremely flat. And that the question when you're trying to think about how your company is organized or how you want it to grow is how you can help people deliver, smart and creative people create the most value and deliver it as efficiently as possible to your customers. Now, the last point that I'm going to sort of touch on really is about partnerships. I think there's a direction that we're headed in, a splintering of the open platform that we all are using now to build our entertainment systems, right? It's like I'll create a closed hardware client. I'll create my proprietary walled-off garden to deliver content to those customers. And that's tremendously seductive if you're building one of those, because all of a sudden you can exclude alternatives in competition. I don't have to compete with Google on search anymore. I don't have to worry about Netflix delivering movies to my system. But we think that is going to, even as seductive as it is, will end up being a failure. That it doesn't do a good job of servicing content creators, and it also, in the long run, is bad for consumers. So as seductive as that path is, we expect it to fail. One of the most important lessons we've learned is that you have to be in partnership with your customers. Whether it's the fact that we have 200,000 servers around the world running our games, whether it's the mods and content that you're creating, that partnership, that collaboration, that starts when you're designing a game and thinking about how the main character of your story doesn't have a copy of your script, and yet somehow you're supposed to be creating this narrative experience and this interactive entertainment with them, all the way through every line of business function, which is most support questions end up getting answered by people on your forums. It's that partnership that's important. Most recently, we decided to try to answer that question in the context of a product announcement. We said, why don't we partner with our customers? Let's use this as an opportunity to bring them in, where they have as much of a role in bringing this new product forward. We'll start off by doing an update to a 3-year-old game and plant clues throughout this so that they can figure out that something's going on and decode satellite data and so on. And so I wanted to touch really briefly on that and answer some of these questions that are in the minds of our fans about what we're going to do. So I'm going to go and talk about that next. Okay, this isn't working. So that's what I get for working at Microsoft. So I was pretty close to the end of my presentation anyhow. And I just want to thank everybody here for the award. And especially I wanted to thank my wife, Lisa, for being here tonight and for being here for all those years. So good luck figuring it out, and thanks again.